Today it's comic books, alley time, Lego, and later we're going to build some volcanoes and some ponies.
We're going to build mine.
There you go.
We're going to make some volcanoes for my dinosaur pet cave.
That's right. I never thought I'd be one of those weirdos who would go and get their hair cut at ridiculous times in the morning. Turns out I am one of those weirdos. So yeah, new haircut, new beard trim. Looking dashing. The next stage in our dice making mission is we're now making our own moulds. So this is a set of dice that we got for super cheap off Wish. This is liquid silicone. And this is our mixing tub, and this is a bean.
With the creepy Teletubby faces peeking through it.
There's rainbow things in there.
That is our first mould poured. Tips for next time, Peter. Pour faster and don't leave it a long time after curing, especially in this heat.
Born in the cradle of your heart, born in the cradle of your heart, born in the cradle of your heart. And I'm very happy, and I'm very happy, and I'm very happy.
Popeye, head down.
So our slab mould came out pretty good. Now we're going to clean this up, get down to the actual dice, then pour another layer on top. And that's how you make a mould for these. So yeah, the top of the mould has got a little bit of cover on. I've taken this one off already, but you kind of got to unbury these ones here a bit. I didn't squash that one's blue tack enough, so it is quite buried. So bleh, zombie hand. Bleh. Second pour done. So now this is the other layer for the dice. That was a bit easier. I knew what I was doing a bit better that time. Although we have got more bubbles this time. Oh no. Eat, honey. Was it too hot?
To what, Mummy says.
Okay. Moments of peace. Let's see if our top layer set and is able to come away from the rest of it. Or we've just got a big blob of silicone with dice stuck in it that we're going to have to smash to get the dice back out. I don't know.
Oh no. Please don't be the case.
So, after about half an hour of carving, we have this. So, if you can make it out, we have our dice impressions. Pretty unbubbled from what I can see. One on the one there, but the rest of it is pretty good. This one I don't think is going to come out because there's some wonky terrain going on around there. Not enough Vaseline is the problem. Let's pop these dies out. So the top fits pretty immaculately because it's got lines, so that's going to be quite good to squish. Don't squish too hard is the rule. Doodles! Let's see if our dice survived.
I hope they have, because they're my dice.
Yeah, dice are fine. Got it? So that is our pour done. It's leaking over the edge. It looks like it's kind of supposed to look from what I've seen people do. Although the swirl is escaping from this one.
Not the escaping swirl.
The escape swirl. Now this is where we put this bit on.
Don't press it.
You just gotta press it so it sits. You don't squeeze it. Even though it's called a squish or a slab mould.
You don't squish it.
you don't
Pete,
actually squish
it's leaking off the cardboard.
Yeah, I've got newspaper underneath. See, this is how to do resin moulding, Bean.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking about the fact that you nearly set the messy mat solid.
What? What?
What do you mean what?
It's a messy mat.
Yeah, there we are. Fingers crossed now. 8 hours time. Go! So, it is the next morning. It is the time for the opening of the dice.
Dice mould.
Dice mould. It feels set. I can feel crusty resin here. So, let's give it a go.
Yeah. Let's give it a go. Woo, woo, woo. Oh. It's working.
No, I don't think it did work. Let's see.
Get D6. Get D6. These are all my favourite daisies. Are they set yet?
Paint didn't come out of the mould. So we tried dropping paint into this one, and the paint has gone to the bottom, and that stuck it to the mould. So it wasn't the resin. The resin came away fine. It was the paint. The dice is lovely moulded on the bottom side. Even on the top side is pretty good.
Well, there's a
Apart
big.
from air
Well,
bubble.
there's a big bubble.
Yeah, but compared to our
Air
other dice,
bubble.
I think that is a very good dice. So, we can't drop paint in, it would appear. Okay, so these are wonky. But, let me show you a side that isn't wonky. I don't know, let me show you the D6 probably. So, there, where they have moulded properly, they're excellent. However, all of them have great big paint splotches where paint has dropped through. The caviar stuff that we dropped in has dropped to the bottom, and that's all loose. Yeah, they're just, and then they are all very squishy. So they are all really wonky. They haven't set. That's 10 hours, but look, I mean, they're not. I mean, look at the state of that. I can just literally squish that. Oh dear. So, another pour. Clean this mould, because there's paint in the bottom. So the verdict is, the mould is really good. This is working fine. However, my resin technique, again, is not good. So these are got too much, I think, of the oil in them, rather than the oil paint in them, rather than the pigment powders. And I think that when it has a high proportion of that, we're getting an oily resin, and it's not able to set it well, and it ends up in this kind of semi-gelatinous state. But anyway, we failed with putting too much paint in it, and they've dropped to the bottom. So I'm not going to use the oil paints pigments to drop in. I'm going to use acrylics next time.